Hi, my name is Akiva Goldman, and I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're going to talk about some topics which I believe will be interesting and informative, so please subscribe to our channel. Today I want to talk about the retainer and how long it's valid for. Sometimes people will post a retainer with the office and they'll ask us, for how long is this valid? So you have to figure out, what does that question really mean? Do they mean how long will it last? Or how long can I do nothing and still have the firm utilize it toward that project? You got to understand a couple things about how law firms work. When you, and I'll draw you an analogy from the commercial market, if you go to a place and you buy a big ticket item and you take it home with you or whatever, and then you change your mind, you bring it back, expect that you may not get a refund. And if you do get a refund, you may not get a full refund. Why? Because there's a reshelving expense, there's a repackaging expense, there's a putting it back in the inventory. It costs the merchant money to process a sale, to have this thing put on the shelf, to have you buy it, to have it loaded out to your car, then you bring it back, then those people have to be involved in the refund, then it has to be reshelved, re-entered in a... If you think this is free, it isn't. All those people along the way are being paid a salary to do that job, which they would not have had to do if you would have just made a decision and stuck with it. The time to be buying those things is when you're sure about it. Not to say, I'm not sure, I'll buy it anyway, and if I don't like it, I'll bring it back. That's not the way that things are supposed to be done, and certainly not in the professions, in the law or in medicine. That's not how it works. If you come to a law firm after having fights with your ex, and you've had it, and you've done everything, all the counseling and everything, and you decide that you're going to get divorced, and you come in, or you come in virtually, and you hire them and you pay them money, you need to understand what's going on the moment you pay them money. They're generating receipts. They're opening up your file electronically so that things can be saved. They're opening it up electronically in a different program so that billings can be done accurately, so that you only pay for what you use, so that it's as accurate as possible. Then it's going to management to analyze your case and decide how it should be handled and who in the staff should handle it, who should run the point on your case. If you hire a firm with one lawyer, it's a pretty easy decision. If you hire a firm with 20 lawyers, it's not that easy a decision. They've got to look at that and determine what's the best attorney in the group that'll bring you the best result. You may, for example, like a particular attorney that you spoke to on the phone, but that's not the end of the analysis. The mere happenstance of the person who answered the phone does not dictate who's going to handle your case. You may like that attorney, but that attorney's schedule might not support taking your case. Why? Because next week he's going away for 2 weeks, and you're going to have some crucial things go on while he's gone, and you're not going to like that. Number one. Number two, maybe there's an attorney who has a particular rapport with a judge, and your case is already signed to that judge. In other words, there's a lot that goes into it. All those selections, all those determinations are made. Then there's a bunch of documentation that's sent out to a client that he should fill out, stuff that gives more information about the case, asset verification, things about your children, things about your marriage, things about your life. That all has to be provided. And if you don't provide it, then they got people calling you. We need A, we need B, we need C. Can you get it to us? Yes, you will. Can we help you? All these people are doing this so that if you decide that all of a sudden you changed your mind, guess what? All of that, all those people, all that money that was spent bringing your case along for the purposes of your litigation, it's all wasted. And you know where that expense falls? It falls on you. No law firm is going to eat that. And then when you change your mind, all that has to be shut down. Management has to reassign that thing, take it out, shut the file down, shut the links down, your invoicing down. All those things that were created have to be removed. More expense associated with that. So when you pay a retainer for your divorce, how long will it last? Well, if you want to keep that money there and expect that it will remain there and nothing will happen to it, it's not going to last all that long. Because all the things that I just described are going to happen. So that even if the next day you call up and you speak to your attorney and you say, hey, you know what, I changed my mind. I'm reconciling, so I'd like a refund. Don't expect to get a refund, or don't expect to get a full refund. Because from the time you paid it until you changed your mind again, all of that work that I just described is going on. And it went on for your benefit, not for the firm's benefit. So there's going to be a cost associated with that. Now, some firms are very gracious. Maybe they'll give it back, maybe they'll give it all back to you. But don't walk around with the expectation that that's going to happen. Now, if your question is different, if your question is, how long will my retainer last, in that, how far will it take me? Well, that's going to depend on what is being done in your case. If it's a new divorce, for example, there's a lot that has to be done at the outset, so the retainer automatically starts getting used for the drafting of the summons and the complaint and filing with the court and serving it. These are a lot of activities that are time consuming and that go against the retainer. But then there's a lull, because from the time you serve the guy, he's got 21 days to answer. And during that 21 days, you know what your attorney does? He or she waits until the answer comes in so they can figure out what the issues are in dispute, what the claims are. In most cases, it's a flurry of activity followed by a lull. Another flurry, another lull. So you get a consumption of the retainer and then a holding off, and then more consumption and more. So how long will it last will depend on where you fit in this cycle and how much work needs to be done immediately in furtherance of your case. Now, if you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.